Welcome to our demonstration of VNEST therapy. Today, the speech path will select a target verb to work on and create 3 to 4 different agent-patient scenarios using the target verb. The chosen verb today is drive.
Okay, so the target verb for our session today is drive. This note card says who, and this note card says what. We're going to think of somebody who drives something and what they drive. So, can you think of somebody who might drive something?
A bus driver?
Good. Can you think of what the bus driver might drive?
A school bus.
Good job. More examples with the word drive. Can you think of who might drive something?
No.
Can you think of somebody who would drive a yellow car for their job?
A taxi driver.
Good. Okay, and then what might the taxi driver drive?
A taxi.
Good job.
This is a close-up example of what your table setup might look like if you're using VNEST. In the first example, the patient got the answer right. In the second example, the patient needed some extra assistance and was given a semantic occupational cue. In the next clip, you will see a picture of the cueing chart. It is important to remember it is not okay to show visual photos as a means of cueing to elicit a response.
This is an example of a minimal cueing hierarchy as well as a maximal cueing hierarchy. In the previous example, a semantic occupational cue was used.
Let's think of another scenario for the verb drive. Can you think of somebody else who might drive something?
Paramedic.
Good. And what may the paramedic drive?
An ambulance.
Good job. Okay, let's try one more. Who drives something?
A farmer.
Good job. And what does the farmer drive?
A tractor.
You got it.
Now the client will be asked to read each agent, verb, patient pairing out loud, using the note card drive to guide their reading. If the patient is unable to read the triad out loud, the clinician will read the triad out loud for them and ask the client to repeat themselves. Let's assume that our patient can read everything independently in this scenario.
Okay, now that we've created all our sentences, we're going to read each one. Let's start here.
Bus driver, drive school bus. Taxi driver, drive taxi. Paramedic, drive ambulance. Farmer, drive tractor.
Great job.
Now the patient will choose one of the scenarios they've created to answer where, when, and why questions. The SLP will clear the rest of the cards from the table, and the best order to ask the questions is where, why, when to strengthen the patient's semantic system around the chosen scenario. This is a close-up look of how you would set up the where, why, and when questions.
Okay, so now we're going to answer some where, why, and when questions about the scenario that you chose. So first, where would the bus driver drive the school bus?
I don't know.
Okay, what is a location that the school bus might drive the bus to?
To a school.
Good job.
In the scenario you just saw, the clinician needed to provide a cue to tell the patient where the school bus might go.
Okay, and why would a bus driver drive a school bus to a school?
To drop the kids off.
Good job. Okay, and when would the bus driver drive the school bus to a school to drop the kids off?
In the morning.
Okay, great. And now we're going to read everything that you've put together. Ready?
Yes. Bus driver, drive school bus to a school to drop the kids off in the morning.
Next, the SLP will clear all the cards from the table and place down 2 new cards that say yes and no. The SLP will present 12 sentences that have been written in advance related to the target verb they are working on. Some of the sentences will make sense and some will not. The categories in these sentences will be as follows: correct, inappropriate agent, inappropriate patient, and thematic reversal. For sake of time in this example, we will not be doing 12 sentences, rather 4 that target each of the following categories.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you several sentences around the verb drive that we've been working on. You can point to yes if the sentence makes sense, and no if the sentence doesn't make sense. Does the paramedic drive an ambulance?
Yes.
The dentist drives a tractor.
No.
Right, because the farmer would drive a tractor. The firefighter drives a taxi.
No.
Right, because a firefighter would drive a fire truck. The fire truck drives Dr. Del Toro.
No.
Dr. Del Toro drives a fire truck.
The table will be cleared once more, and the SLP will ask the patient if they remember the verb they've been working on, to give them an opportunity to independently recall this target verb. If they do not remember, the patient will be encouraged to think about everything they've previously discussed throughout the session. If that doesn't work, finally, they will be shown the verb card with the verb that they've been working on it, in this example, drive.
Do you remember the verb that we've been working on?
No.
Okay, well remember all those examples that we went through, and there was a verb in between them, such as with bus driver and school bus. They all had something in common.
Drive.
Finally, this process will be repeated with the same verb but without any cues. Nothing on the table, no note cards. The goal is to have the patient work through this independently. However, this is not a memory task, so they will not be provided with extra cues, and we will just observe what the individual comes up with. After, this process will be repeated again and again with however many different verbs you're working on throughout the session. Thanks for watching!